Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. Hi, hi.
Yeah. Hi, 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 hi. We're so very, very happy that you're joining us today. Whether this is the first time or you love us so much you're coming back for more, we're grateful for your participation. And we hope today we're going to do something to inspire you for love and kindness.
Yep, thanks for that. We always love and kindness. And thank you for everyone returning. And if you're new, welcome. We want to just quickly start it off by saying that we love drinking over tea, sorry, not drinking, chatting over tea.
Chatting.
Chatting over tea. We're not going to be drinking and tea. And what we do first is we talk about the teas that we each drinking. And my tea that I'm drinking today is by a company called Lifestyle Awareness. And it is organic herbal tea supplement, organic lemon ginger. All right, there you go. And the ingredients are, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see it nice and clearly. It is proprietary blend, organic ginger rhizome. I don't know what rhizome means, but organic ginger rhizome, organic lemon peel, organic lemongrass leaf. That's just basically all it is. And it says here spicy, warming, zesty, invigorating. Lemon ginger is your caffeine free powerhouse. Ginger combined with refreshing lemongrass and lemon peel will create a blend that will delight your senses. Refreshing served hot or cold, this delicious tea will bring you happiness all day long. All right,
Oh,
I want some happiness
oh.
long. All right. What drink are you going to be chatting to
I
today?
am drinking a company called Davidson Organics, and this is a Tulsi blend, and it is mango peach. Two of my favorites, mango and peach. It's organic, caffeine free. It's good for us. The ingredients are organic Tulsi, and this is Krishna, Rama, and Vana, which is the proprietary blend, and organic Robos. And the flavors are peach and mango. And that's by Davison.
All right. Very good.
All
Very
right.
good.
Yes. So we've both had our teas steeping for a little bit. So cheers, Rosetta.
Cheers, everyone. Ooh, that's really good. I
Did you
can
do
taste
the two tea bags this time or
I
just
only
one?
did one because I wanted to see the strength of it, and it's quite
Right.
delicious. It is
Good.
it's I can taste the ginger more than I can the lemon, but I only had one tiny sip.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work, all you do is add a little more real, like a real slice of lemon, and it'll be
Yes,
perfect.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So let's get started. As always, with our chats, we send our thoughts and prayers out to the universe because we believe, Rosetta and I, that if we learn to love one another, then we will be able to bring about love for people, for animals, for planet. So we're all inclusive. So today, our focus is love and compassion as always. Today is National Clean Beauty Day. And as a clean makeup manufacturer, ding, 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 this is right up my alley. It is very important that you read the ingredients, just as we read the ingredients to you of our teas. It's important for you to read the ingredients of beauty products that you use in your life, that you put on your face, on your body. It's real important. So, happy, clean beauty day.
Fantastic. It is right up your alley. We love that. And it is
Yes.
also National Hug Your Cat Day, right up my alley because I have a boy flame point Siamese who is 16 years old.
Oh,
Here are some benefits of why you should hug your cat or cuddle your cat. And there are cuddling with your little fur babies can decrease bouts of depression and loneliness. Hugging your cat can make you feel more calm and resulting in lowering your risk of heart disease. The sound of purring from the cats has a healing component to it, and it actually helps heal your bones and muscles. And people who sleep with their cats get better sleep. Children under the age of 1 who are exposed to cats might have fewer allergies as they get older, which I did not know about, but I don't know if that's 100% true. But I'm just going with that.
Right.
So that is National Hug Your Cat Day.
I love that. I love that.
Next, we have birthdays. And today is Angelina Jolie's birthday. She is a famous actress, if you don't know, and some of her famous shows or films, which you might know of, is Magnificent, Mr. and Mrs., The Bone Collector, Girl Interrupted, just some of her many, many line of films and movies. The next is Noah Wiley. It's his birthday today, and you might know him as an actor from ER, playing Dr. John Carter, or
Yes.
the newest one, The Pit, Dr. Michael
It.
Robbie. Love, love,
Yes.
love The Pit. Love that
He's a
show.
great doctor.
Yes, so happy birthday, Noah Wiley and Angelina Jolie.
Yes. Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So, did you know that this past Sunday there was a sonic boom in New England? Now you're thinking, what the heck is a sonic boom? Well, I'm going to tell you what a sonic boom is. People in New England on Sunday, up and down New England, reported seeing a fireball and hearing a loud, loud, loud boom. And what happened was, officials are saying it was a meteorite blazing across the sky, and it was going 75,000 miles per hour. Now, can you imagine that? If you go 100 miles per hour, that's like extremely, extremely fast. Could you imagine 75,000 miles per hour? It fell and was heard from Delaware to Montreal. Now, this 3 foot wide meteorite fragmented 40 miles in the air on Massachusetts New Hampshire border, and it fell into the Cape Cod Bay. The explosion detonated the equivalent of 300 pounds of TNT. So you could only imagine if you were a person that heard that loud boom. And you can see it on video. If you go on YouTube, you can video it and you can hear that loud boom, and tons of people, many, many, many people, as I said, up and down New England reported hearing and seeing it. Now, there is a difference. Did you know that meteors burn up in the air, but meteorites fall all the way down to Earth? And this meteorite that fell into Cape Cod Bay in the water was called fishy squishers, according to NASA. And if you don't know what fishy squishers are, it just means that when the meteorite fell into the bay, it squishes fishes, which is why it's called fishy squishers. So there you have it, the sonic boom that would, if we were living around there, we heard it or saw it, we would never forget never forget hearing or seeing that sight. Amazing. How often do you see that? Once in a
Not
lifetime.
very often. Yes. Um, it's interesting though, because on what I saw, just so we give the both dates, NASA said that it actually happened on Saturday. And they said that the meteor was 5 feet in diameter with a mass of 5.6 metric tons. I mean, just let that roll around your head. That's a
So we
lot.
do have a little bit of conflict here of
Yeah,
the actual details because I got this off of Good Morning America. So
I got mine off of NASA.
So NASA's more correct. So Good Morning America gave me the wrong information.
Well, I think Good Morning America did the report as soon as it happened. And then NASA always come back behind and says, okay, let's be more specific.
Yes,
So
this
Good
is an
Morning America did the best they could with the information at the time. But I was just struck by the 5.6 metric tons. I was like, that's huge.
yeah,
That's
it's
huge. Thank God it didn't hit anyone. That was my grace.
right.
That was grace. So here in the Bay Area where we are, we're pretty excited because the World Cup is about to start. It actually starts 1 week from today. It runs it starts, the very first game is Mexico versus South Africa. I'm so excited. The tournament will take place from June 11th, which is next Thursday, 7 days from today, and it'll run through July 19th. And it will be jointly hosted by 16 cities, and 11 of which are in the United States. There are um, three in Mexico and two in Canada to make up the total of the 16. The tournament will be hosted by three nations and the first to include 48 teams. Previous years, there was only and in fact, just as a FYI, the Australian soccer team is right here in Oakland, California, training right now. They're at the Oakland Roots and Souls Sports Club in Alameda, California. So, you know, Alameda County is just booming right now because they're so excited that they are here and they're practicing and they're training. Some of the fun is going to be at Levi Stadium. It's going to be at SAP Stadium. I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun going on for the next, how many days is that? 11 to 19?
That's
That's,
actually, yeah. Sorry, I was going to say it's over a month, so it's a month and
yes.
what, 8 days?
Yeah, yeah. And I know in previous years, when it starts, no matter what restaurant, what bar, what coffee shop you go to, if they have a TV, it's on the World Cup. So let's get ready to rock and roll.
Yep, exactly, exactly. Okay, so have you been watching or have you watched something on Netflix? If you haven't, then you may not want to listen to this. But if you have, or you're thinking of watching, or you don't mind getting spoilers, then we want to talk about something that has been trending on Netflix. And it is a documentary called The Crash. The Crash. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what this crash is all about. This crash is a documentary about, well, it's about a lot of people, but the main star of this documentary, her name is Mackenzie Schiller. Now, the story is basically about obsession, control, young toxic relationship, manipulation, social media, and the big question is, did Mackenzie intentionally drive her car 100 miles per hour into a building, killing her boyfriend and their best friend? Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was just like, oh, the crash. I saw a little bit on the trailers. I saw hardly any of them. I thought, I don't want to watch it. But when my husband told me it was the number one trending program, I said, okay, let's watch it. Now, in July 2022, young Mackenzie Schiller, 17 years old, gets into a car with her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, Davion Flanagan, after a party in Ohio. Then what happens is what looks like an accident. Um, they show that she is turning a corner, but she has her blinkers on. So she was sound of mind when she was turning that corner. And all of a sudden, they see the car zooming down the road at 100 miles per hour, and it hits with such great force into a building, killing her boyfriend Dominic and their good friend Davian Flanagan, like I mentioned. Now, there's two sides to this story. The complications are that it may look like an accident, possibly use of legal substances. We're not sure. The second is investigators looked into this accident and it went from being an accident to being intentional. So what may seem like, okay, maybe she was on drugs, taking marijuana, or something had happened, the brakes failed. They did some more investigation and they realized that it may have been intentional. Now, she drove 100, they found out that she was driving close to 100 miles per hour without even putting her foot on the brake or trying to stop. There was no, like, usually what happens is if it's an accident, then you will notice that, because they have something, I did not know this, called the equivalent to what's on the airplane, the black box, but they have it in the cars and it doesn't really record like voices and stuff. It just records mechanical things, technical things that was happening before an accident. And they did not see through this car black box that she had tried to put her foot on the brakes and there was no swerving, no attempt to swerve. Usually, if something was wrong, you would try your damn hardest, right, to put your foot on the brakes, but that's not the case. So her car went from turning with the blinkers on, being very normal, to driving up to 100 miles per hour and hitting this building and instantly killing her boyfriend and the friend, but she actually survived with serious injuries. Now, there seems to be a thing where friends are saying, like, their side of the story, and this comes into play the relationship between Mackenzie Triller and her boyfriend. Friends are coming forward and saying how much she loved her boyfriend Dominic and defending him. Now, on the flip side, throughout the documentary, we see evidence on the contrary. We learn of evidence that she was very controlling. There was a lot of threatening text messages going back and forth, and how toxic the relationship was. And there was a lot of drama within the relationship. She actually did threaten to drive a car into a wall. So, which, didn't happen really like when she said it was, but it happened. I think the timeline was 2 weeks prior to that. She threatened that. And then 2 weeks later, this is what happened. Now, you come to realize that this relationship is very volatile, emotional, like I said, controlling, unhealthy, and toxic. Now, there are two views to this case. Number one is a grieving teenager in a tragic accident. Number two, a young girl spiraling emotionally out of control, and so much so that she kills her boyfriend and their friend Davion. Now, this case really changes depending on your belief of how you believe this case is going, and people are kind of stopped defending her because she was going 100 miles per hour and she never attempted to brake, and you don't see her swerving or anything. Prosecutors are saying that this was intentional. Mackenzie's defense team are arguing and claiming that she suffered a medical condition. I guess it's called POTS, which I don't really know what it stands for, but it causes like fainting or blackouts. And they're kind of like defending it that maybe she had like a blackout or a fainting spell after she turned the corner. She didn't know what was happening. Now, the thing about what I couldn't quite grasp as being a parent, Gloria and I are parents, and we always talk about parenting and how this comes into play for your kids. I felt that the parents, now Netflix, they're going to produce what they want to produce. They want you to see what they want you to see. But I felt that the way that they portrayed the parents of Mackenzie Cirilla was that the parents had no accountability for her bad behavior, which to me was really annoying. I was very annoyed throughout the whole movie because it seemed like the parents um, they were treating her behaviors like normal, like she's just a normal daughter. There's nothing, her child, their child is innocent. Um, she was just caught up in a really bad situation, and to me, it seemed like they seemed to not want to take accountability, acknowledge what was actually happened. They didn't want to face reality, which was something that annoyed me because during the trial, they wanted to try and defend her to the tilt, which was very annoying. Now, this was not an isolated situation. Constant reports were showing conflict, aggression on Mackenzie's side. They were showing that she was very aggressive. She bullied other students. She had a very toxic relationship, controlling her partner. There was actual text that we saw that was like, what I forgot to mention was that she was living with her boyfriend at the time. She was only 17. She was living at her boyfriend's house, and she would say things like there would be texts go back and forth like let me in or I'm gonna kill you or whatever. I'm gonna knock this door down, kill you. But the documentary painted the picture of Mackenzie being very volatile and emotional, unstable, like close to being unstable. And she seemed like she had like kind of like a bipolar personality. To me it seemed like she was kind of a narcissist. And I didn't understand why the parents were always trying to defend her and keep giving excuses when there were so many red flags. And it was like they were saying, my child could do no wrong. Nothing that she did was, and they said, something about, I can't remember exactly the words they used, but something about, there's nothing wrong with using marijuana. If that was out of all the drugs, I think marijuana would be the best to take. You could take it, I could take it, you could take it. That's the best you could take. The other thing, the social media shaped the public's perception because after the crash, people created their own kind of like narratives, as I would say, on what was happening. That she was a grieving survivor, but some thought she was a manipulative murderer. Controversial moments came from reports and records where Mackenzie referred to herself in the as a third victim. She thought she was a victim. Uh, what I got from this show was that, my opinion was that she's guilty. I think that when she cried on stage, I think some part of it was yes, she was crying because she came to the realization of what she had done, but I don't think that she was in remorse. She wasn't crying because she was remorseful. And they did show videos days after that she was, for Halloween, that she was dressed up as a dead corpse. So that was a true telling sign that she had no remorse whatsoever. Would a normal person be dressing up as a corpse for Halloween if their boyfriend had just recently passed with their good friend? And it's just very sad because it really destroyed many, many lives of different people. Not only did it destroy her life, it destroyed her families, her boyfriend's families, the friend, Davion, their family, and the sisters. It's very tragic. And the reason why it got so much hype is because the controversy over was it intentional or was it that she really did not know what was happening? So that was my take on the show. And I was so like blown away by that. I had to tell Gloria to go ahead and watch it. And I want to know what your thoughts are, Gloria.
Um, well, I agree with you. Initially, I thought, oh my God, the kids were partying. You know, because they showed scenes of her earlier. She loved smoking marijuana, those big, huge joints, and she would take the smoke into her, I mean, big puffs of smoke. And I'm like, I can't do that. I've never been able to smoke stuff like that. I start gagging. So I looked at that. I watched her. Everything was she had the pooch, everything she did. So it was all about recording, social media, everything she did. The sad part for me is her parents at a girl, everything she did. Oh, I don't see anything wrong with that. And I'm like, well, I do. Um, However, you think it's really bad because initially you see the end results of the accident. When they go back and they show us what the accident is like, if you're going to slow down to make a turn and then gun the car, then you know what you're doing. And that to me was the saddest part. Um, and I agree, no remorse, because there's a scene where she's in prison and she's sitting and she's talking to someone and she's, like she's kind of like distracted and she's trying to ask questions. It's almost like they say, okay, we're ready to film, and then she sits back and she gets into that persona. It was either acting or she was just, going off of a script. Someone had told her, this is what you do, this is how you talk. I was I was blown away. I can't believe someone that young could be that distraught to take two lives. I mean, if you're mad at your boyfriend, it's bad enough, but that's one on one. But to then put his friend in the situation with you, and I mean, true, she was hurt. However, with all the airbags and everything, she survived way better than the two guys did. So, if you're looking for something to watch that will give you a lot of aha moments, this is the thing to watch.
So the other thing that I want to mention was that they did say that prior to her, this incident that happened, this tragic incident, she actually did a trial drive-through on that same route, which is very telling. Why would she do that? And did you notice
Yeah,
that the way that she hit the building, the most
yeah,
impact was on her boyfriend's side.
yeah. It wasn't her side.
So she knew exactly what she was doing. And I think that she did this because she didn't want her boyfriend to leave her because he was going to leave her. I think
Yeah,
that she did it because she knew that, okay, if he can't be with me, then she knew there could be a chance that she could die.
yeah.
She could
And
potentially.
also, if you look at the she was my my husband, he calls them label hose, where everything, she had Gucci earrings, she had a Louis Vuitton purse, the slippers that she was wearing, and I'm like, why are you wearing slippers? Were Prada slippers. She didn't have just plain old clothes. Everything she had was a label, and he bought her all of these things. Apparently, he had a very successful business, and he spent his money on her. So it's just sad. And then for the parents, that was really disappointing. The parents, and when she reached out to his sister, her boyfriend Dom's sister, she's like, "No, no, I don't forgive you for killing my brother." So it's a watch. I watched it twice because I couldn't. You watch something, you go, it can't be. It was a
Yes.
mess,
So if
hot
you
mess.
haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. And if you have, give us your opinions, what your thoughts were. Do you think
Yes.
she did it? Was it intentional or was it just an accident? What do you think? And watch afterwards when you watch this, watch all the YouTube videos surrounding this whole case because there is newer video from TMZ and other sources that actually interview Dom's sister and actually Mackenzie's father.
Okay. So, unfortunately, we had another school shooting here in our local Northern California area at the Fairfield High School. This happened yesterday, and there were graduates. The ceremony was over. They were in the parking lot taking pictures, and shots rang out. One of the individuals was an 18-year-old that was killed. Three others, age 11, 20, and 25, were injured. And it was the ceremony was at the Fairfield High School, but it was for the Sim Yoto High School, which is a continuation school which shares a campus with Fairfield High. Yeah, it appears that the shooting happened um, after the graduation had ended. People are just outside taking pictures. There was no fight, there was no confrontation. All of a sudden, there were just shots. There was a person that the news staff asked about, do you know the people? And this person said that this is not the first time there's been a shooting at this school. Fairfield High School keeps having gunfire and no one seems to be able to fix it. And that's kind of why we're bringing it to your attention. It's bad enough that we're still having school shootings, but the fact that it's repetitive, that says that something needs to be done.
Why don't they have, I don't know if this is possible, but why don't they have like metal detectors if it's
Well,
within,
it's in the parking lot.
or it's in the parking lot? Well, I don't know
So
where
you're outside by your cars. You finish the graduation, they got their caps and gowns and their diploma, and you're taking pictures, and then
uh,
all of a sudden you're running for your life.
that's pretty sad. I mean, I don't know how they can control it. Maybe get some security guards. I don't know. It's pretty sad
Yeah,
what
yeah,
this
pretty sad.
young kids are doing nowadays on a joyous
Yeah.
event, and this is what happens.
Yeah. And what's really sad is sort of like the crash. It all comes back to those likes, doing outrageous things so that you'll become famous. It's just crazy. And the police have not been able to find out the one or two individuals that fired the shots that killed and injured people.
Right. So sad.
So sad.
All right. So, did you know that there's going to be new offsite TSA screening? Now, what does that mean? That means you can actually check into TSA offsite instead of at an airport. So, this is new and it's already started at Boston Logan Airport. And what it is there's only two airlines right now that are doing this, JetBlue and Delta. And it is between the hours of 5:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. And for any fare class, so any class that if it's economy, business, or first class, anyone can do this
First.
between those hours. You can go through security off site, then be bussed to the airport. Now, this is how it works. You go online to reserve, now get this, you go online to reserve a spot, that costs you $9. Kids are free. Then you go through the TSA security at a special site, which is 25 miles away from the airport, right? Then a bus will shuttle you, will take you to the gate so you can board. They're saying you can avoid airport lines and parking lots. So you can also leave your car at the off-site location where you do the off-site TSA screening, but you have to pay a $7 fee for that, which may be cheaper than parking at the airport. The pilot program is approved first now at Boston Logan Airport and 7 other locations, including LA and Atlanta. They will also start to expand times and airlines. So right now it's just JetBlue and Delta. So they're saying it is right now good if you live near the off-site TSA screening areas. My thinking is, why would I drive 25 miles away from the airport to get the screening done? And then on top of that, I have to pay $9 to reserve a spot and $7 to park my car. I'm telling you, airfare is not cheap nowadays. And on top of that, you've got to add on all these different fees. I don't know. Maybe people like this idea because you can park your car there for cheaper and you can get bused right to your gate and board. What do you think, Gloria?
I think it's going to be a hot mess. If you think about security, let's just think about security. So the one location that I found is called Framingham, Massachusetts. So what they do is they take you to a secure direct bus ride. You bypass all traditional airport terminals and airport security lines, and then they take you straight to your gate. So, how do you know when you get on the bus that your stuff is going too, that your luggage and things are going to get on the plane? There's so many unknowns, and as it is, it's difficult. And I'm sorry, if you go through security outside of the airport, once you get inside, you should have to go through it again, just based on the movies that we watch, where people have stuff in their pants legs and plastic guns that they assemble and put together. I just don't. I understand what they're thinking. They can move things faster. I just don't think I would want to get on a plane where people are just based on how much money you're willing to pay, you get to bypass things and it's going to happen. And I think it's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah, I do agree on you about the luggage situation. How are they going to get that luggage and you make sure you get it at your destination? That's something else. And security reasons, you said. So you brought up really
Yeah.
two good topics that they need
Yeah.
to actually address. So that could be a concern for many people.
Yes. We'll be watching and we'll let you know what we find out. So last week we kind of ran out of time, and one thing I wanted to bring up is that the what is the official name for that? It is I can't find it, but it's the National Spelling Bee competition was last week, and there were four kids from California that was in the top 10. I was so excited, so excited. So the first person, the winner, and I'm sorry, sweetheart, if I misspell your name. I mean, if I mispronounce your name, but I think his name is Shrey Porek. He is from Rancho Cucamonga, California, and he won the 98 Script National Bee Competition in Washington, D.C. Now, you say, how did this come about? So he secured the championship in a dramatic spell off, and he went against a young man. His name is Isham Gupta, and he's 12. Shrey is 14. And what they do is they just throw words at both of them and they just spell the word and keep on going, spell, keep on going. And so Shrey spelled 32 words correctly in this speed off. I mean, if you haven't seen it, YouTube it, go look at it. These kids are brilliant. I mean, some of these words, you're like, what? But they spell the words, and they didn't give them a lot of time. It would be this word, this word, this word, this word. And I also wanted to shout out a young man. His name is Aiden Ming, and he's out of Danville, California, which is very close to us. And he made it in the top 10. And he is a seventh grader, and he came in sixth place as a tie. So
Very good.
California really represented, and it's hard to spend your whole life reading words, spelling words, becoming familiar with the words, how they're pronounced grammatically. It's because someone says aunt, and you're like, okay, is that an AUNT aunt, or is it a bug on the ground, ANT aunt? So these children have to be very, very focused. So we just want to acknowledge job well done.
Very good, very good. I love to hear that. These young kids, yeah, I have seen them, those that competition back and forth at the end, and it's like, oh
Yes,
my God, can't even keep up with them.
I know. And then at the end, they just say, and you spelled this many words, and you spelled this many words, which means you are the champion. It was
Very,
very exciting.
very, very good. Okay, do any of you know a man, a singer by the name of Barry Manilow? I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yes.
He is
Yes.
82 years old and turns 83 this month. But last year, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. I did not even know this. Um, he didn't need chemo, but he did have surgery. And after his surgery, he was in ICU for 7 days. Now, he is actually coming out with a new album this week. And also, he has some summer concerts that are set for this year. Now, I did see a very small, short clippet of interview with him. I don't think he's ready to be singing. His voice does
No.
not sound like he should be getting out there and planning all these different dates. It says that he's returning supposedly on the road this month, the 25th, with dates in Vegas in July and more shows in the US beginning in August. I mean, I love Barry Manilow. I would love to go and see
Yes.
him because I love his songs. But sorry to say, I don't think there has to be some kind of miracle because it's not just him singing one song, it's a whole concert.
Yep.
So unless there's something we don't know, a miracle, I don't know how it's going to how he's going to pull this off. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he was diagnosed with stage 1 lung cancer, which means they caught it early, which is good. And because they caught it early, they said that he didn't have to do chemo and radiation. They could just remove the tumor. But I agree with you. You still need to do vocal rest. You need to let all of this heal. And I think he's pushing himself way too hard. And he has admitted, though, that he's struggling to regain his voice because, like Copacabana, I mean, not only are these songs, they're upbeat. So, he's playing the piano, he's moving across the stage. I think he needs to slow down and heal because what would be detrimental is he tries to come back too early, too fast, and then we have a real problem.
I have a
So,
feeling that what's going to happen is that he's going to cancel his dates when the time comes because he's not ready.
yeah,
I don't even think he should have done that. He should have waited till the beginning of next year to start.
I agree wholeheartedly. So, have you heard of a girl named Serena Williams? Well, 4 years ago, she put up her tennis racket and she was done. She was going to go and run her businesses with her husband. She was going to change some things. And I remember last year she came out with Roe, and Roe is her version of the GLP-1s or GL1 dash P, no, GLP-1s.
GLP-1.
And she GLP-1. She got what is his name? Um, oh my
Charles
God, he's
Lawson.
on the sports. Yes, she got him to take her product, and Charles lost a lot of weight and he slimmed down. So we're watching her, and she starts to get really fit and toned. She's always been a muscular woman. She looks really good. So she just announced she's coming back. And the first thing she's going to do is play doubles alongside Victoria Moboko. So we may, because remember, um, Martina Navratilova, remember she
Navratilova.
retired. Yes, and then she came back. So what Serena's doing is like it's never been done before. So it's going to be interesting to see, can she come back? Can she rebirth her tennis career? Because there was a young lady that played yesterday in one of the finals, and she was so devastated that she lost. She said she was done and she was never playing tennis again. So I understand that it's hard. So maybe Serena will give her inspiration that you can lose, but that doesn't mean you have to quit.
Yeah, we'll have to see how she does when she comes back. But yeah, I think that she's going to give it another shot, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about this amazing thing that I heard about. and it is a breakthrough for one of the deadliest cancers, pancreatic cancer. Now, this is a targeted drug that has nearly doubled the survival rate for some advanced pancreatic cancers, and it remains one of the deadliest cancers out of all of them. It's not a cure because, there is, I don't know if there's going to be a cure or ever will be a cure, but it may give patients some more time and some more hope. Now, there were two patients that was shared with their experience because they had been on this drug. And the results from phase 3 clinical trials of a groundbreaking drug, on average, people with advanced cancer who took this drug, and the drug is called, let's hope I don't botch it up, Diraxon Raxabi, nearly doubled their overall survival rate, extending their life by 6 months and cutting the risk of death by 60% compared to chemo. Now, they're saying they're only allowing people to go on this drug after they've done one round of chemo. So you have to have had one round of chemo. The targeted therapy works by blocking a protein that helps cancer cells grow. Now, here are two patients' evidence that it's working. Number one is patient Jim. Um, his tumor, which spread from his pancreas, was reduced by 50%. And then there's another patient named Carla. She says a medication has shrunk her tumor by 40%, and the mass in her pancreas is stable. Um, this is really great because Jim, he said that because of this drug, he has been able to reschedule a lot of trips that he had planned with his family, and he's now able to go on trips. Carla says that she's able to help look after and raise and help with and be in the life of her grandkids, her grandsons. Now, the FDA
Mhm.
approval can come later this year, but it's on the fast track with the FDA. And what this drug is doing, is really buying the patient's time and quality of life. Again, this drug is not a cure, but it can buy you quality of time and life. So this is really big breakthrough because I never thought that we would ever come out with any kind of pill or medication that would do that. So this is great. I love it. I love it. It is just the start of something great and where our money is going to a good cause for this cancer.
Yes, I agree. My favorite aunt passed away from pancreatic cancer, and it's a pretty devastating disease because the person they just, I mean, she just started to shrink and she got smaller and smaller. She was a curvy girl like me. We're all curvy in my family. And upon her passing, I think she was a size 6. I mean, it just shrinks you down so much. And she would want foods and then she wouldn't eat. And so for something that will buy them time so that they can at least get to spend time with their family. They can at least get their affairs together and get their mind around this condition because it's a death diagnosis because when the doctors tell you you have it, they follow it up immediately with, and there is no cure.
Mm.
So I hope that this will work and it will, while it's not a cure, it's elongating the person's life. And who knows, it may evolve into a cure.
Yeah, I love it. I love that.
Yes. So, if you're not a sports person, we always try and do something. So if there are guys who listen to us, we try and give you a little love also. Well, let me tell you something. The city of New York is giving love right now. The New York Knicks are sort of like the NFL team, the New York Jets. They're there, but they don't win a lot. But their fans are diehard, diehard. They love them. So they made it to the playoffs. Oh my God. Last night was the first game of the final. Whichever team wins this game, the series, wins the whole thing. Now, the last time that the Knicks went for a championship was 1999. That's how long ago. And right now they're playing the San Antonio Spurs. So they won. The Knicks won 105-95. I think it was the final score. The fans in New York City took to the streets. They were like crazy people. They were in Manhattan was, I mean, you couldn't even walk. There were people everywhere. On the I guess you say on the media side, people like Whoopi Goldberg, Gail King, Craig from the Today Show. Gail has two guys she works with on CBS Morning, Nate and Vlad. Everybody was like, oh my God, they were excited and they were exhausted because they stayed up to watch the ending of the game. Now, Spike Lee is the Knicks' number one fan. And I think Tracy Morgan is number two. The two of them are just out of control. They are so happy. And it's wonderful to see a town and a community doing so well. So, no disrespect, San Antonio Spurs. It's just the Knicks have really, really worked hard for this. And I wish them much continued success.
Yes, yes. Congratulations to the Knicks.
Yes. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. It was a lot to share. We spent a lot of time on the crash, but we want you to really look at this because it gives you some insight as to what's going on in our children's minds right now. And it's a scary place to be. Yet we want you to check it out. We thank you for hanging out with us. We love you. We want you to know that we feel the love that you send to us and we send it back to you bubbling over.
Bubbling over. Yes, thank you so much. And if you stay to the end and you liked our chat, which we hope you did, please hit that thumb icon. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel because that helps us make more videos and with the algorithm. And hit the bell notification so you're the first to be notified when our videos are ready to be seen. Yes, yes, yes. And we love you. We love our teas, which have been really good. Oh, don't
Yes.
forget that if you're interested in the teas, every time we do a chat, it's going to be in the description below. So you can check
Yes.
that out. Thank you so much. We are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea.
And
And
remember,
remember to always
always
keep
keep
smiling.
smiling.
All right. Take care until next time.
Bye.